So we're back for round 10 of the Youngstars Karting Championship. But Tim, you ask, your last upload was race 8. What about race 9? What happened? Where's race 9? Did I crash, making the video too embarrassing to upload? Was I too lazy to supply my audience with quality content? No, my camera just broke. So, around the time of the race, it was in Hong Kong being replaced. And if you're really smart, you'll be able to infer that that means no race 9 video. But it was a pretty boring race anyway. There were some annoying moments in the pit lane, which wouldn't have been recorded anyway and were out of our control, meaning that we finished a frustrating P8. So with that being said, it's time for race 10. So in my team I volunteered to do qualifying, but before we'd even got in the karts there was some drama, as there was an unconfirmed rumour that Red Lodge had changed the steering on the karts slightly. This change was meant to make it more difficult to turn, but more forgiving and better handling. And before I'd even finished a lap I could confirm that these rumours were true, as the kart handled a lot differently, and it was much more difficult to turn. However, I did prefer this. What it did mean though, was that I started understeering at this section of the track, meaning that every time I went through it, I ended up beached on the outside curb, losing me at least half a second a lap. This, coupled with being attacked from behind, meant that I ended up qualifying an annoying P7 towards the back of the grid, meaning I'd have my work cut out for me on the start. Another interesting thing to note is that it was quite a hot day. For anyone outside the UK, this means about 20 degrees, meaning that down the straight, and especially over the curbs, I'm feeling every single bump. But that's enough waffle for today. So lining up P7, and on the inside, that gives us a good advantage. The lights are on, and it's a good reaction. We've managed to hold the inside into Senna. Can we even have a look on P6 in front, or P5, sorry, even? Yes, we can. We're side by side going down into Senna. Can we follow Humphrey through? We can. But sadly, in the second half, we just get forced wide back down to P7. It's such a shame. Anyway, battling with the red suit. Can we hold the inside? We can. And it's a beautiful switchback back up into P6. Now, onto the guy in the black suit. Can we follow him and get into this train of karts in front? We're not going to be able to attack the black suit, but Humphrey does go wide, so we're going to be side by side with him down to Oak Tree. We have got the outside, but we managed to pull off the switchback, so we get the inside for the next corner, and that's nearly through, but we're still side by side. He has the inside for the final corner, so we're not going to be able to get the move done. We do get a better run onto the main straight, trying to slipstream him into turn 1. We're going to try and get the inside. We do, but he cuts us off. We're not able to get down there, waving the hands about, but we're staying in P7. Can we get a run on him though? Into 180. We can. We're going to be side by side again, down towards Oak Tree. Once again, we're going to have the outside, and we're going to try and make it stick this time, but we're not quite going to be able to. Just the power of that inside line working, but he's doing some great defending down to the final corner. Once again, we can't get near him, but can we get a better run onto the main straight? We do. We get bumped, and we get passed by the kart behind, so it's down into P8, which is a massive shame, as we're getting a super good run through that last corner, but we just ended up getting bumped. And that's actually caused us to go all the way back down to P9 as well, so we've been passed by the red suit too. But that doesn't deter us though, as 2 laps later when Ryan is bumping to the left, to the right, down to the final corner. We're going to get through on the exit. Brilliant run onto the main straight. Now slipstreaming the kart in front. Can we have a look down the inside? It's going to be a dive bomb from all the way back, but we're side by side into turn 1. We've managed to make it all the way up to P6. Both moves on the main straight. You can also see me giving Josh the signal to slot in behind me and see if we can work together to catch up to the pack in front. And catch up we did, as 4 laps later when we're right on the bumper of Humphrey in front, and we've caught up to the pack of the top 6 karts. This time it's him giving us the signal not to attack and to work together to climb through the karts in front. But this teamwork was short-lived, however, as literally a lap later he left the door open going into turn 1, and I shot down the inside. And after another small battle at Oak Tree, we managed to work together with great moves like these. That climbed us all the way up to P2 and 3. and then disaster struck. You can see how eager I am to catch up to P1 just off of the hand signals I'm doing to Humphrey, but this would never happen sadly, as 2 laps later I was right on his tail, and when I sent a move at 180, the same move mind you that got me second 2 laps prior, he didn't see me coming and accidentally put me in the wall. This really stung, as I'd caught all the way up from P9 back to what was effectively P1 for about half a second, just to get dropped all the way back down to P5. But that's racing, and it meant an extra challenge for the coming laps, something that I was definitely up for. Despite going on an absolute charge and getting the fastest lap with a 36.95 that wouldn't be beaten for the rest of the race, I was pulled into the pits just 3 minutes later to finish my stint, meaning that I didn't have enough time to catch back up to the leading 3. However, I did still finish P4 with only 5 seconds to the leading car and an hour and 15 minutes left of racing, so it wasn't too bad. So we're going out for stint 2 now, but sadly, despite both my teammates holding really good pace, we ended up with a weight penalty and one for speeding in the pit lane. This put us a lap down and all the way down in P11. This meant that once again I had my work cut out for me, and it actually went quite well, as by the end of my stint we were running P7 and just about on the leading lap. However, aside from a small battle with Larchie, this stint wasn't very interesting, but the race got massively jumbled up as soon as I hopped out the car. So one of the things that happened just after my second stint, and you can probably judge this by the thumbnail, that Nico incurred some of the worst luck that he's had the whole season. He was running in a secure P3 when he rode over the curb and the chain snapped in his engine, causing him to have to pull over and quickly swap his car. Luckily he stayed on the leading lap, but this put him all the way down to P8, and then when all of the people began piling into the pit lane because of Nico's kart failure, one of the cadet karts came round to turn 1 like normal, braked, and his wheel came off. This was because of extensive riding over the curbs. This caused all but one of the marshals in the pit lane to run over to the cadet to assist him. This meant that there was effectively an 8-team queue in the pit lane, all having to pit for their drivers one by one. This would have massively benefited us, but sadly these were the 8 teams that were all behind us. And that was about it for the rest of this race. We finished a slightly frustrating P7, given all of the work that the team put in, but that's racing, and you always have these kinds of unlucky races sometimes. And I'll see you guys next time for what will be the last race of the season.